Well, hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the All Things Football podcast with myself, Adie.
And Dan, how's everyone doing? I'm really excited. Yeah, really excited to get this first podcast underway. You know what? For years, myself and AD have known each other, but we've just had such random conversations when it comes to football where we thought, you know what? Let's just speak about it in a podcast format. Just do it. Absolutely.
Just do it. Anyway, the burning topic is obviously Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo. He's going back to Man United. What is he, 36 years old? But he's just a machine, isn't he, really? So do we think he's going to hit the ground running, or is he going to take some time to get back to the pace of the Premier League? What do you reckon?
We're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo here. He's well known around Europe. He's a machine. He's 36 years old. I'll tell you what, he's not that far off the age of myself, but he's in a much better shape. He knows the Premier League. I think Manchester United was the only destination he was going to go to. I'm really looking forward to him, actually. Yeah, really looking forward to him getting back into the Premier League and seeing him in that starting lineup for Manchester United.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be goals. That's what he brings. Obviously, assists are thrown in there, but he's just in the right place at the right time. And I think he's more of a striker nowadays, isn't he, as well? And he just doesn't seem to slow down.
Never.
For a 36-year-old man, he's in physical specimen.
Definitely, and I think you can see with his time at Juventus, he didn't look. He was scoring goals. He was still creating assists, and he was doing all that sort of jazz. But
just didn't seem like fun, did it? For him?
It didn't, no, and I don't think he enjoyed his time in Turin. And I think with the transfer market that it's been so far, with Messi and
COVID
and everything else, I think he wants to end his career, and what better way to do that by going back to where it all started for him, really.
Well, yeah. So what was it? Sporting Lisbon. He started at. He went to Man U in 2003. Left in 2009 after, his career at Man U was phenomenal if you look back anyway. Him and Rooney and them lot then. And then Real Madrid, just mental. Look at, all the silverware he's won, the Ballon d'Or, just such a career.
This is a guy that spent 6 years out, probably, without a doubt, one of the greatest sides in English football, Manchester United. I think nearly 200 appearances, as you mentioned, 84 odd goals, probably more, if anything else. And then going to Real Madrid, and he absolutely destroyed. I've never seen an appearances to goal ratio like this before, where his goals outweigh his appearances. I think nearly 300 appearances and 300 plus goals. I've never seen anything like that, unless you're Lionel Messi as well.
Exactly. You can't not mention Ronaldo without mentioning Messi as well, can you?
Absolutely. And how good would it have been to have both in the Premier League this season, or in the same team, even at PSG? It would have been absolutely phenomenal. We're going to see that now,
are we? Unfortunately, but
we're not. Something. But it would have been something. I think. To be honest, I don't think they would have been great in the same team together. I think they would have tried to overshadow each other more than anything else.
There is that. But say about Ronaldo, I think he's more in it for himself than Messi. But I think with age, he's think of the likes of Greenwood, is it?
Yeah.
Greenwood, Rashford, players coming through, Sancho. They're going to love it playing with Ronaldo.
You can see it already. You can see it already. Yeah, social media, the things that these boys have come out with. One, it's a great thing because he's coming home. But the second thing, what a great learning! What a fantastic way to learn from a king of Old Trafford, because that's what they're calling him. They're calling him the king of Old Trafford.
Exactly.
Lionel Messi. Talking about Messi, at the end of the day, he wanted to stay at Barcelona.
Yeah, definitely. Finances have just gone, weren't they, for the club?
And unfortunately, I think he's been let down because of finances, and I think La Liga is in a really big turmoil position at the minute. Really, I think money-wise, it's going to be a struggle for the Spanish teams this year. I feel.
Well, Barcelona, a lot of turmoil there, definitely. Who did they sign recently? What's his name? Memphis Depay, wasn't it? They signed him. They kept what's his name? The striker, main bloke now. It'll come to
we got Griezmann, ain't you? You got Griezmann there.
Griezmann's still there. Yeah. But then there's the Danish, Braithwaite, that's it. The one they were trying to get rid of, and he's still there. He's still clambering onto Barcelona.
Still there, and you look at that transfer, don't you? You look at that transfer when he signed for Barcelona, and he was kind of laughed out of the park really when he joined. Yeah. And you know what? He's actually built up quite a really good.
He's done okay.
He's got a great reputation now. I think he did well for Denmark. He's going to do well for Barcelona as well. And I think they've got to rely on these players more than anything else.
Exactly. They can't rely on Messi, the one player now. They've got to, the team's got to
chip in
and score the goals.
Absolutely.
Definitely. What was my other thing about Ronaldo? Oh yeah, the number 7 shirt, Cavani. What's going to happen there?
Cavani's going to keep it. Yeah, I think Premier League rules state that. Yeah, Cavani will continue to wear the number 7
unless he leaves the club.
Unless he leaves
the
club,
yeah.
that is the only way in the Premier League where that can happen. I think around Europe, I think the law states in the leagues around Europe that they have to give all the squad numbers by the end of August, but the Premier League, it's before the season starts. So yeah, unfortunately, Ronaldo's not going to get that number 7 shirt, which we all want him to see. We want to see Ronaldo 7, but Cavani's going to wear that shirt unless he leaves, and then but I can't see him leaving, to be honest.
Even as a neutral, you've just got to respect Ronaldo for what he's done, and you see that number 7 shirt, and you just think of him. His shirt now, isn't it? Especially for Man United,
especially for Manchester United, it's an iconic shirt, isn't it? Number 7, Beckham,
Cantona,
Ronaldo,
Beckham.
Cantona. Yeah, absolutely. the list goes on with Manchester United when it comes to that number 7 shirt. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what number he gets. No doubt he'll probably just double the number 7, maybe to get number 14. Who knows? I haven't seen any rumoured.
Or 1 and 7, 17, just so the 7's in there.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, he's not going to. We haven't had the official confirmation that medicals and things have gone through.
Well, they said that was pending, didn't they?
Absolutely.
That's where we stand.
But you always know a transfer has gone through, especially Manchester United. Instantly on social media announced that he was coming
home.
Back,
Ronaldo.
Yeah,
it's
so
announced.
Atmosphere should be good.
Oh God, yeah.
Atmosphere should be good today. Man United playing Wolves away. No doubt there'll be some Ronaldo chants from the away ends there. And I think all
Viva
eyes.
Ronaldo. That's the
Viva
main
Ronaldo.
One,
Absolutely, yeah. And I think all eyes will be on that next fixture for Manchester United. I'm just going to who got next. Who have they got next? Newcastle. So Newcastle could potentially be that Old Trafford debut for Cristiano.
Trafford as well?
Old Trafford as well. Newcastle United.
Steve Bruce's Newcastle.
We know what match of the day. We know what match of the day is going to be all about on that evening. Yeah, with the Cristiano Ronaldo show.
Definitely. I think Man U, they can't not win that game in my eyes, to be honest. Old Trafford, Ronaldo back, a Newcastle team that's so void of any confidence.
Can't buy a win, Newcastle, at the minute.
Exactly. Even with Callum Wilson, one of the better, he's a top 10 striker, I'd say, in the Premier League, but he's just in a team that's just got nothing from top to bottom. Ownership's awful. Steve Bruce as manager. It's just crazy club, isn't it? It's been like that for a long time.
Yeah, I think the great thing that we're doing right now on this Cristiano Ronaldo section is we're presuming that this boy's going to start against Newcastle United.
Yes.
In that game. And I think everyone else will probably be thinking that's one of the first names that you have on the team sheet. But I don't know. Will Ollie throw him straight away? Or
Sancho's not started a game, has he?
Exactly. Yeah. So we've got these great players. I'm jealous of the team that they've kind of got at the minute.
It's a crazy team.
Especially when you look at the other teams around the country and the benches. Unfortunately, the squad depth is a massive thing at the minute. And what a great position Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got, having Cristiano Ronaldo
for wingers,
Cavani,
strikers.
Sancho, Rashford, even Varane. I can't wait to see him get started.
Maybe another striker though. Maybe another striker they need just to top it all off, I reckon. Because wingers is just Sancho, Greenwood, Rashford, Ronaldo's coming back.
I don't know. I think the joy of
up top.
I think the joy of having Ronaldo in your squad means he can play anywhere. He can play anywhere across that middle. He can play up top on his own. I think Ollie's done now
as well.
Exactly. It's a squad that's got depth.
Plenty of depth in the attacking areas. Yeah, definitely.
Interested to see how Manchester United get on for the rest of the season.
It will be interesting. I mean, let's be honest. The top 4 like Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, they're still ahead, aren't they? Let's face it at the moment. But it'll be interesting to see how Man United do this season. They've definitely got to do better. Their fans will be wanting silverware.
Yeah, definitely. Silverware's a must for Ollie this season. I think the Man United fans are crying out for a trophy as well. But yeah, I don't know. At this present, it's too early in the season, but at this present moment in time, I can't see past Chelsea or Manchester City at the minute. I can't see past them at the minute.
Should we talk about the other end of the table? Who's bottom at the moment? Arsenal.
A team that
Arsenal
you wouldn't think would be bottom of the league. Arsenal, yeah.
Where's it going wrong? Where's it going right?
It's not going right anywhere at the minute. I think Mikel Arteta he's in a position. He's in no man's land at the minute. That man is tactically, for me, quite inept.
He's very one. It's just one dimensional, isn't it? It's a passing game.
There's no plan B. There's no plan B. I think listening to the other forums that Arsenal fans have, they're very much on the same wavelength. There's no plan B. I just can't see a way out for Arsenal.
It's strange though. You look at the squad. I mean, look at who's your star names. You've got your Saka. You've got, is it Emile Smith-Rowe? He's come in, new attacking player. Aston Villa were really after him in the summer, and he stayed, signed a new contract, and he's got the number 10 shirt now. Which, God, think of the number 10 at Arsenal. Your Bergkamps. Who else? Oh. Didn't Arteta have the number 10 at one point? I
couldn't say, but most probably.
So there's a special player there, but it's just unlocking the young talent they've got.
I think they've got some great young talent. I think Saka, he's going to have a great season. I think as much as the Euros didn't end well, I think it did end well.
Aubameyang as well has got to prove himself this season.
Absolutely.
Didn't have a great last season,
but they've got some great young talent. I don't know. Feels like there's a bit of unrest at Arsenal. There has been for years. I think ownership
massively. The ownership
doesn't happen. But it's really crazy, actually. I'm looking at the fixtures now. That Arsenal's next two fixtures are against Norwich and Burnley, who occupy that relegation zone at the minute in the Premier League.
Burnley are not an easy team to play against, ever.
It's not. And I don't think Norwich... I think Norwich are slowly... I think they were unfortunate yesterday.
It's a bit of confidence. They built a bit of confidence. Obviously, they've lost 3 from 3. However, when I saw the highlights of their game against Leicester, they looked more up for it than they... have previously. However, they had Man City away. Who wins there or scores goals? Nobody, really.
Not many.
And then at home to Liverpool, that Liverpool team on their day, Salah, Mane, Firmino up front. It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
I think the confidence was high at the start of the season. I think they went into that Brentford game thinking, we've got a brand new club here. The fans are back. Let's do the Arsenal way. And you know what? That opening night of the season, Brentford were fantastic.
Oh, God, yeah.
And they've continued Brentford. I know we're going off topic, but Brentford, I've got to speak about Brentford. Brentford at the minute, for me, are doing really well. I think 2-0 victory over Arsenal. Then they picked up the away draw at Crystal Palace, their first away game in the Premier League, and then picking up another point yesterday at not an easy place to go.
And they scored pretty early on, didn't they?
Early on.
Ivan Toney got his first
Premier League goal as well. I've got to say, unbeaten so far, Brentford, really well. I think, special mention to them so far, and the fans, enjoy the Premier League. It's definitely a rough ride, but if you know what, you've got a fantastic team behind you. The manager's great. I think the interaction that he has with the fans as well always works well.
Definitely.
But you know what, they're a team that's just going to enjoy the time that they've got in the Premier League, and I think if they can stay up, who knows? Could they actually foment their place in the Premier League moving forward?
It's like previous history. We go to let's just think of teams. Fulham, they've been there before. They've had a few seasons where they've stayed up. Obviously, West Brom had 9 years in a row where they stayed up in the past. Brentford, if they can do a few seasons, that'd be great. Huddersfield managed to stay up for a few seasons. Just it's always great to see brand new
one season
teams.
wonder, isn't it? Yeah, it's that one season wonder. I think that Huddersfield was a great example of that. Everyone writ them off.
Sheffield United as well.
Sheffield United, you know what? Sheffield United had a fantastic season. Again, that one season where they were pushing for Europe, and then last season it just
Chris Wilder in the board, wasn't it? It
just went to pop, and Huddersfield, another example, had a great first season, straight back down the second season. Fulham and Norwich, they're very much like each other. They come up, they go down, they come up, they go down.
Up, down.
And the same with West Brom. I think West Brom for years
in recent years,
it's as that yo-yo club. But you know what? We had those 8-9 seasons consecutively in the Premier League, and
then it's getting towards up and down again, isn't it?
And again, it could go that way, but
do.
We'll move on to the Championship a little bit later on. But Very good start. I'm enjoying the season. I think that the only thing that stands out for me at the minute is just the return of fans. How great is it seeing the fans back in stadiums?
Absolutely.
At the
It's
minute.
just, there was no atmosphere last season. Obviously, it couldn't be helped. It's been awful, hasn't it, the past year?
It has. Yeah, it has. It was one of those. I think we've spoke about it. I've spoken with a number of football fans and saying that kind of last season, as much it was there, and the season before even actually, they were kind of like blanket seasons, weren't they? There were seasons that will always go down in history, but you don't really recognise them as seasons because the one thing that was missing was the fans, and seeing them back.
As much as it was amusing to hear the players shouting and the technical staff, shouting their instructions on the TV with the sound in the background and everything, it's not the same without the fans. Fans are what make football. We all know that as football fans.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I was quite pleased when they gave you the option of having crowd noise or no crowd noise. Crowd noise was gone instantaneously, especially when they thought a goal had gone in, and then you hear the cheer, and then it was just blanketed out straight away. Yeah, absolutely. So just having the commentary, just having the ground noise in terms of hearing the players, which is always an interesting thing to hear. And just listening to some tactics actually being done on the telly was quite good. But the novelty wore off, didn't it? I think the novelty wore off the start of last season. Here we go.
If I remember correctly, when the season came back, the Bundesliga came back first, didn't it, in Germany?
It did, yeah. Bundesliga was the first. It did indeed, yeah. Unfortunately for me, it wasn't a great one, and it was one of those games that was fantastic because it was Dortmund versus Schalke, and you'll get to know us very well over the course of these podcasts. But Adie is a big fan of Dortmund over in Germany, and I'm a Schalke man over in Germany, and that was the first game back after the lockdown across Europe. I'll talk about Bundesliga a little bit later. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to talk about the Bundesliga 2 as well. Because that's where my Schalke are at the minute. But
the first time in how long? It's been
since the 80s. Wow. Yeah, I think all my life I've had the privilege of having Schalke in the top league of German football. And we've not made a great start, but we'll come on to that a little bit later on.
Yeah, definitely. We'll leave that for for a bit anyway. So back to the Premier League then. Where are we? So top of the table, West Ham. Since David Moyes came back, just phenomenal.
Absolutely brilliant. And you know what? A testament to him and the team so far this season. 7 points, sitting top of the league, carrying that momentum. Unfortunately, they dropped off, didn't they? They dropped off towards the end of back end of last season. I think Champions League football was looking quite good for them and Leicester. But you know what? Experienced tells in this league, and the teams that you do expect to be in that Champions League ultimately did finish in those spots.
Even though it was a rough ride for Leicester towards the end, wasn't it?
It really was. It really was. And I think I'm looking forward to seeing West Ham and Leicester, see how they do, because normally we have 3 representatives in the Europa League, but with this new Conference League, we've only got the 2. So I'm really interested to see how Leicester and West Ham get on in their Europa League. And of course, Tottenham as well. Tottenham getting their experience now in the Conference League. And you know what? I don't think it's going to be as easy as a ride as we all think it's going to be, that Conference League. But good luck to them and all the other top teams that are in that third tier of conference football in Europe.
Speaking of Tottenham, Nuno Santos, what was he, the 4th choice for their manager? He's got to hit the ground running, surely.
Was it 4th, 5th, 6th?
Must have been. There was
I've got
the
good friends.
Contes were talked about. Allegri was up there.
Yeah.
None of them wanted it, did they?
No. I've got a good friend. That's a Tottenham fan. I don't know. Let's. I'll be interested to see as we go through these podcasts, see if we can get some fans of clubs on. I'll be interested to get maybe him. We'll reach out and see if any fans of clubs want to just do a little segment really around their club and how they're getting on in the season. I think that'll be a good little section for us to have on here. But I don't know. Nuno Sanchez, was he 4th? Was he 5th?
He was. He wasn't the top choice, was he? He wasn't in the top 3.
But you know what? They've made a good start. They have made a good start.
Yeah.
I think,
to be fair,
the number 1 signing for them is keeping Harry Kane.
Harry Kane,
I think we all believe
Kane. He's irreplaceable.
I think for Tottenham, I don't know. Yeah, I think he's one of those players that he's come through the ranks there. He is a Tottenham lad. even though he was at Arsenal at a young age. But you can tell
very young age,
that he does. And you know what? He's been really respectful to the club. Ideally, he wanted that move. Because he is, was he 28 now? 28, 29?
27, 28. He's in the peak, isn't he? Peak
he
of
is,
his career now.
He is. But you know what? Who's to say that he won't continue scoring goals until his late 30s? I think he will get his move eventually. But I don't know if we still see him remain in a Tottenham shirt for the next 2 seasons. Maybe he'll. I don't know. I think he might just see out the rest of his days at Tottenham.
Speaking of Harry Kane, once he's got his head down and he's going to bang the goals in for Tottenham eventually. Anyway, we know that. We know what he's like. He's prolific.
He got 2 in the week, didn't he? Yeah, he got 2 in the week against Pacos in that qualifier. So he's still there. You know what? Some players we've seen them over the seasons where they want the move, and then you see that's reflected when they don't get the move during the season. And you know what? He made the perfect statement by scoring those 2 goals.
Absolutely.
And he had a great reception. I think that great reception he got away at Wolves in their win there. The fans are behind him. There's no animosity towards him or anything like that. So, but good luck to him.
No,
yeah, good luck to him for the rest of the season. They will.
They'll get behind him. He's made the statement, wasn't it, on Twitter, where he said, "Yep, I'm staying for at least. It's going to be at least another season, and then I think he might go. But at least he's got his head down now. He's the captain of the club, isn't he? So he's got to show his leadership in that as well."
Another Sunday game for them. Yeah, Watford today. No doubt he's in the starting lineup. Yeah.
Going back to Mr. Kane, though, is he the man to break Alan Shearer's Premier League record of 260 goals? Oof. He's got to be up there. Aguero at one point for me was going to be the one, but that's not going to happen now.
Of course, yeah, of course. He's definitely got to be up there. What we're on for Alan Shearer? We were on 260 goals for Alan Shearer.
Harry Kane's on 166, and he's 27, 28 now, isn't he?
So he's got, in theory, he's got to find another 100 goals.
Just under 100, yeah. It's doable.
It's doable. I think that record's going to stand for some time. You look at the likes of Wayne Rooney, 16 years in the Premier League. That boy scored goals for fun, and he ended up on 208 goals. And then,
look at Thierry Henry. In his Arsenal career was phenomenal when he became a striker. When Wenger turned him from a left winger to a striker, banged him in. Phenomenal. 175 goals. Didn't stay in the Premier League long enough.
Definitely not. No, definitely not. Well, when Barcelona
came calling,
when Barcelona come knocking, you don't decline that move, don't you? Definitely, especially around that 2007 mark when he did leave. But he came back. He scored a few goals, didn't he?
He did.
When he came back, I do remember that one against Leeds United.
Yeah,
that he scored on his return. That's right. I don't know. I really don't know. Harry Kane, 166 now. He's got to get to at least 261 to beat that record. I don't know. I really don't know.
Is he the man?
He can score goals.
Yeah.
Can he score 30, 60, 90? He's got to score at least 35, 40 goals over the next 4 years. And you're talking then he's going into his 30s.
Yeah, he's 28. He was 28 in July. So
yeah, he's got an average. He's got an average 30, 35 Premier League goals over the next 4 seasons just to get anywhere near that. We'll see. Let's come back in 4 years' time and see whether he gets that 261.
Absolutely. So yeah, we've done Tottenham. Who else? Let's have a look. Who's of interest? Everton Football Club. Rafa Benitez. Oof, he started well.
He started well. It didn't go down well, did it?
Nope.
When he arrived,
it was never going to. Was it the Liverpool-Everton connection?
Definitely not. Well. Even now, I think there was still some murmurings of Benitez chance yesterday. But you know what? I think they will come around. At the end of the day, Rafa Benitez always does well at any club he goes to.
Even with his defensive approach, he starts solid from the back, and he likes to build a solid team. He will try that with Everton, but I think from what I heard the other day, their policy is they need to sell before they buy. And I think they were looking at a striker the other day, Neil Maupay from Brighton, I believe it was, yeah.
It'll be a good signing for him. Yeah, again, he's a player that's adapted well in the Premier League. He is scoring goals. He may not be scoring too many. But yeah, I think a move to Everton, he definitely would be a striker that will score goals for them. I think they've made some really shrewd signings. They made some really shrewd signings this summer, especially on that budget. Damari Gray
on a free, wasn't it?
Andros Townsend, Damari Gray from Leverkusen. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him over in Germany. He only had the one season. He played well, but I think
Just one of them didn't work out.
Some players,
maybe
some
homesick as well.
Yeah, definitely.
What it
yeah.
was.
I think, he's made some street business. Where are they at the minute? Well, they're sitting in the top 4 at the minute. Made a good start. I don't really look at the table until, I don't know about you, around the
Give it
game.
about 10
games. Yeah, that's when I start looking at the table. But it's
early promise.
Definitely.
He's got the track record. He knows what he's doing. He's been in the game for a long time. He's not easily top 10 for me, Everton this season, I would say.
Oh, of course. Yeah, well, I'll be worried if they didn't finish in the top 10.
Yeah, you'd have to be, wouldn't you? Especially with the talent in that squad.
I think the teams that have come up, I think Brentford, the way they've started. Who else came up? Norwich, Watford. Obviously struggling. Watford are doing well.
Watford are doing okay. One win, one loss. There's the situation with Troy Deeney though, because apparently he's been in discussions with the board about possibly leaving after 12 seasons.
Absolutely. I think there's only one destination for that man, and that's back to Birmingham. We're going to Birmingham City.
Birmingham City, do you reckon?
Birmingham City. Yeah, he's a lad that
born and bred.
I think he follows Birmingham City. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think you are wrong.
Yeah, he is at a stage of his career where he's probably looking now, going, you know what, I do need a challenge. I do need to score goals. I need from regular games. The Championship for me is without doubt it's definitely one of the best leagues.
Anybody, as they say, it's the cliche that anybody can beat anybody in that league.
Definitely, yeah. I'm just looking now, 33. He's definitely coming towards the end of his career. Fantastic record at Watford. I think everyone will always remember the Leicester City playoff.
Oh, that from one half to the other.
One missed penalty, one end, up the other end, and
I just remember watching Soccer. Was it on Soccer?
It was Soccer Saturday
on the Sunday, wasn't it? Yeah. But it was that commentator when he was losing his voice because of how much it changed. It was crazy.
You just don't get moments like that very often, and when you do, you've just got to embrace them, especially last-minute winners as well. I love a last-minute winner. But yeah, I think Birmingham City. I think West Bromwich Albion, Fulham. They've had their name in there as well. Troy Deeney for me goes to Birmingham City. I won't say go back to Birmingham City, but he goes to Birmingham City.
Going back to last-minute winners, West Brom at Peterborough last night. Oh,
let's not be biased because we are. If people will get to know me and Adie, we are
West Brom
devoted West Bromwich Albion fans. So Villa, Wolves fans, don't worry, we will be honest during this because it is all things football. I was frustrated. I was really frustrated with West Bromwich Albion last night. Just to the point of, I just felt like we drifted away from that philosophy that Val's brought in. But you know what? A win's a win in my eyes. Last minute winner. I don't understand why Semi Ajayi was where he was on the pitch. I was quite surprised.
At least he was there though.
he was there and he got the goal and the 3 points came back. And you know what? Best start for 29 years for West Brom. At this present moment in time, I honestly can't see past Fulham.
I can't see past them either.
I think Fulham are the best team in the league.
I was watching the highlights of the Fulham-Stoke game. Stoke have come into the season pretty confident, and Fulham just blew them away.
They did. It was a top of the table clash. Stoke had started really well. Again, made some really shrewd signings in the summer. Stoke are one of those teams where you thought that they wouldn't be in the Championship for very long. But you know what?
How many seasons has it been? 3-4 seasons?
It's got to be 3 or 4 seasons now that they've been down there. But yeah, Fulham looked the business. I think each and every game that Fulham have played so far, they've looked the business.
They've kept the majority of the Premier League squad as well. They have, and again, they've got great owners. But I think Fulham need to be like West Brom. West Brom, I think we were fortunate enough to have those 8-9 seasons consecutively, and you know what, we had some really good managers at the time, and unfortunately things come to an end. But I think for Fulham, because of the size of that they are. And the money that they've got behind them, you know what? They don't spend a lot of money. No, they're very well owned. They're very clever.
But they're very well owned. But they don't want to fall into the trap of Norwich. Although Norwich's philosophy is they're happy to go up, to go down. But you know what? At the end of the day, why not?
It's a shame. In a way, it's a shame for teams like Norwich that there's too much up and too much down. It's a shame there's just not a league in between the Premier League and the Championship for teams like them. But it's fun to see, and it's obviously fun for their fans as well.
It's a controversial one, isn't it? For me, if you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. You know what? You don't get no consecutive. Well, yeah, you don't get none of that. Being used to playing Man United, Arsenal, all that. But you know what? What's wrong? What's wrong with getting promoted, having 38 games in the Premier League, and then if you do get relegated, you do get relegated. But you know what? You're always going to pocket money, aren't you? And I think this day and age, unfortunately, that's what clubs are thinking about.
It's mainly money, isn't it? Profits.
You look at the teams in League One. We'll touch on League One a little bit later on, but there are some massive clubs in League One.
Well, let's see. Sunderland sticks out like a sore thumb.
Sunderland,
they've been there for a few seasons.
Sheffield Wednesday,
Portsmouth,
Wigan, Portsmouth, Ipswich.
There's some big teams in there. Bolton are back in there now as well. Yeah,
there's some massive clubs in League One, and I don't know when parachute payments run out, and I think Sunderland are seeing that now. But you know what? I think they've rode their time in League One. I think this season may be the year that Sunderland do get back to the Championship.
Yeah,
they are playing some really good football.
They've got to, haven't they? Really,
they've got to, and I think the same can be said for all those teams. Ipswich,
Sheffield Wednesday
have just come down. I think that's an immediate return. But I look at Ipswich. Mm-hmm. Paul Cook is the manager there. He's got a good reputation of doing really well. He did fantastic things with Wigan.
This is Paul Cook, isn't it? We're talking about
Paul Cook, yeah. And you know what? They've made some fantastic signings this summer. But you know what? That gelling process that they've had so far this season.
14 new players.
14 new players.
Take a while to gel.
And currently, I know the table means nothing at this moment in time, but they are currently in the bottom 4.
Yep.
Of League One.
3 draws, 2 losses so far from 5.
Exactly that, yeah. And you do worry that because there's a point where are we going to, like this season with the Premier League with Arsenal, is this the year where we actually see one of the big clubs
go down?
One of the big 6 clubs relegated from the Premier League? I don't think it will happen. I think Arsenal will turn the corner, whether that's with Arteta or whether it's without. I think my question for Arsenal fans is who comes in? Who's going to come in this season with no European football?
Yep.
And
the owners, they're very they don't spend money that they could spend, I believe.
I think what I want to say is, Arsenal fans, who do you want next in as manager if Arteta doesn't last too long? I think the next 2 games are going to be pivotal for them, like we said, Burnley and Norwich. Eddie Howe?
Let's just think, but if they're in the bottom 5, let's say bottom 5 come December, could they turn to someone like Sam Allardyce? I don't know how serious I can sound saying something like that, but he keeps teams up.
Well, he did. He did until last season.
Until West Brom, yeah.
Apart
from that,
and you know what?
That's what I think
Sam Allardyce does come in and he does stop that rot. I think West Brom he could have saved. Honestly,
yes.
I have said that.
A bit more time.
A bit more time. I think Slavan Bilic's dismissal was done.
The way it was done, though.
No, it wasn't done great. However, Eddie Howe.
Going off topic anyway, but yeah, Eddie Howe. Why is he still out of management? Because he was close to Celtic, wasn't he, at one point in the summer?
Eddie Howe's a very. I get the impression Eddie Howe's a very homely man.
Yes. I think he likes to stay in.
He loves the South Coast.
Yes, definitely.
And I think we saw that with Burnley. I think his time with Burnley was very short-lived.
It didn't work out like he wanted.
It didn't work out like he wanted to. And I think Celtic would have been a fantastic opportunity for him.
How far north do you want to go?
But some players do that. Some players do that. I look at Ben Foster. Mm-hmm. He's a Leamington lad.
Yep.
He's living in that area. And he wants to be within a certain distance of a club. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? You know what? If he's playing football, why not?
The thing is, apart from football, if you've got a family, kids and stuff like that falls into it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like travel and how much time you spend with them. So there's a lot of factors and people forget about that with footballers. They're humans as well. So.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, couldn't agree. I'm just trying to see what managers are out there. I think
Eddie Howe, Tony Pulis is still available.
Tony Pulis, yeah.
Here's some more relics. Alan Pardew, Mark Hughes.
I've got an interesting fact about Mark Hughes.
Go on.
I wanted to bring this in. Did you know that Mark Hughes once played for Wales and Bayern Munich on the same day?
Really? No, I didn't.
He played for Wales. He played for an international game. and he played for Bayern Munich on the same day. It was actually a European qualifier back in 1988. He played for Wales in Prague against Czechoslovakia. He quickly had dinner with his with his agent at the time, and then he managed to get back in time, back in Germany, in time for the second half. In their Bundesliga game against Borussia Mönchengladbach. He said he actually flew over the ground and missed the first half, but I got there and I did start the second half, and Bayern won.
Fair play. That's insane. That you wouldn't teams wouldn't allow that nowadays, would they? Oh, there we go. Yeah, 11th of November '87. Mad. That's mental. 2 games, 2 competitive games in one day.
One for international, one for club. Do you imagine you manage if that happened nowadays? Not a chance.
Wouldn't happen.
Not a chance. I think there's still that mindset of how professional footballers don't manage to play 3-4 games a week.
No, they're very much fitness, sharpness. There's a lot more to the outside of the game now, off the pitch.
I honestly think
they keep shape and what they
definitely.
eat and.
There are far too many games. There are far too many games, I think, that we play during the season. You can see the momentum drifts off towards the end of a season, unless you're Manchester City, who just continue at a form of pace. I've got one for you.
Go on, yeah.
I've got one for you, actually. I've got one for you. Do you feel there should be a revamp in what is known now as the Carabao Cup? Do you think a revamp is needed for the Carabao Cup?
I'd probably say so, but what are you thinking? What's your sort of suggestion?
I think with the introduction of this new UEFA Europa Conference League that Tottenham are playing in this season, I think Roma.
You're sort of thinking of like a qualification.
I'm thinking the Carabao Cup remains in place, but I think the teams that have qualified for Europe at the end of the season don't qualify for the Carabao Cup the next season. I think that Europa Conference League should be an opportunity for a team that hasn't qualified for Europe a chance to win that. To one, win a trophy, get a day out at Wembley.
Yep, definitely.
But 2, have an opportunity of playing in Europe.
Well, exactly, because it's quite tough for teams to qualify for Europe now, anyway, especially in the Premier League.
It's the same teams, isn't it?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter, regardless of what competition it is in Europe. It's the same teams that do get there. But
it's normally a basis of you're gonna already. It's Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man U, Arsenal were in that top 6. They're not going to be there this season, I don't think.
Don't get me wrong. It was fantastic seeing Leicester City winning the FA Cup.
Oh, absolutely, that was.
But Leicester City, in my eyes, now they are well and truly becoming. Maybe pushing themselves into that top 6, top 8 clubs in England.
Absolutely. And
so they're European adventure.
Their turnaround from, what was it, League One in 2008, 2009? Championship, they went through that, and then back to the Prem, new owners, they've just turned the place around.
There's owners in football get ridiculed on a daily basis, but I think I can speak on behalf of every single fan of any club in the UK or even Europe at this present moment in time, but the owners of Leicester City Football Club have been fantastic. And you know what? They don't throw too much money around. They're always looking at new, innovative ways of drawing revenue into the club. I've just recently seen their ambition,
the ground, aren't they?
Yeah, their ambition for
the capacity of the not Etihad.
King Power. Get the
King
Power up to 40,000. But they're also looking at building like a leisure facilities and an arena around there as well to bring in further more revenue. And you know what? You don't hear them moan once.
No.
And he's such. We know the tragedy that happened.
Absolutely.
A few years ago. But you know what? His family, his son in particular, has just completely.
Just gone with it, and
he's gone with it, and he's kept the spirit alive.
He's gone through his grief of losing his father. He's kept the club going, and he's just. The thing is, the good thing about Leicester, they're very much family, aren't they? The players looked after him. He looks after them. I mean, look at Kasper Schmeichel. He could have left.
He could have.
Jamie Vardy could have gone. He's been on record saying, "I wouldn't go because they looked after me."
I look back at when they won the Premier League. I look back at when they won the FA Cup and the Community Shield when they won that as well, and. The players wanted their owners there. They wanted them there in that, and you don't see that very often.
Not really. You wouldn't.
You
Glazers at Man U or Kroenke at Arsenal. It just wouldn't happen, would it?
Not a chance. And I think that's a testament to them and the team themselves, the fact that they want to involve every ounce of that club in their successes. And yeah, again, I think for Leicester City this season, I wish them all the best.
Absolutely.
For the season.
They're one of my favourite neutral teams to follow. I mean, Brendan Rodgers is definitely proven the doubters wrong.
Of course, I think we all thought he'll be at Tottenham this season, but
yep.
No disrespect to Tottenham. If you're doing well at a club and you're in and around that spot anay, why
you want to
leave?
Keep that spirit and that success, don't you? You may as well see if you can go further than the FA Cup for starters.
Absolutely. Yeah. Why can't Leicester City go on and have a good European run now? Same West Ham. Why can't they go on and have a good European one?
Absolutely. And like we touched on David Moyes earlier, but I can see West Ham definitely having another good season. I mean, if Antonio can still bang the goals in, who else have they got in their team? I mean, Declan Rice, they haven't lost him yet. There's still time. I mean, there's been rumours of several clubs after him, isn't there? Chelsea, I think, were named, and obviously he had a good summer with England
Man United have been named as well. I think Declan Rice will be a West Ham player come Tuesday evening.
I think he will this season, but I think in another year or two, he'll definitely go to a top 4 team, possibly.
I don't see why he leaves this season. West Ham have had a great start to this season, had a great last season. Have an adventure. This is what I want more from players. I want more. I'm going to stick this out. You know what? We started really well. Let's see what we can actually do this season. And you know what? If it doesn't go well and you don't get where you want to be, then look for your move. That's my view on it.
See, this is the old West Ham. What was it? The Dimitri Payet. He was there for a bit, left because he just didn't like it. He couldn't cut the English game after a bit, could he? He didn't like the way West Ham were going at the time, and he was obviously he was destined to just leave, wasn't he? That was obvious. Some players they seem to have that new philosophy now, where the players actually want to play for Moyes. They've got the fans back on side, which is the ultimate as well.
Definitely, especially a club like West Ham.
Yeah, with the way they've had the issues with the owners as well, definitely.
Adie, I think you have got a strange football fact to give us.
It's a strange football fact. Back in 1998, Ian Radu was sold by the Romanian second division side Gil Petrosani to another Romanian side called Valsia for no fee, but they exchanged 500 kilograms of pork worth £1,750. That was the fee. No money, just pork.
No money, just pork. What a way. In 1998, a player was transferred just for 500 kilograms of pork.
That's it.
Worth £1,750, did you say?
That's correct, yeah, that's it.
Wow.
And in terms of transfer fees, that's nothing.
Well,
really?
No, definitely not.
Not compared to nowadays, especially. I mean, when Shearer broke the record for, what was it, the all-time record of 15 million back in 96, and now look at it. It's just crazy figures
and
nowadays.
It's just going to get even more crazy. Coming on to transfers, actually, Kylian Mbappe. Ooh. Will £163 million be enough for Real Madrid to get him this summer, or does he see out until January and then get his move? I don't think PSG want to lose. PSG can't lose him.
He's begging for that move. He's begging for that move.
Definitely, he wants to be. He wants to go. I don't know. I don't know how I feel on this one.
Why would you not want to have a season with Messi?
I don't know. I really don't know. However, you know what? He is still young, and if he's got ambitions to play for Real Madrid, I think the Galactico spell of Real Madrid is well and truly gone. La Liga to me now doesn't really entice me. I think as a kid growing up, I play football myself, and I think one of my dreams would to play in La Liga. I don't think many kids these days would have that same ambition, to be honest.
Really.
But
I mean, I'm seeing less and less Barcelona and Real Madrid shirts about, and kids a few seasons ago had the Ronaldo tops, Messi.
I've seen more Atletico Madrid tops. I think I've recently this year been away, thankfully, to just to get out and have a bit of normality. In the part of the world that I went to, I didn't see many Real Madrid or Barcelona shirts. It was Atletico Madrid. Atletico.
That's good to see.
And again, they won La Liga.
Diego Simeone. What a job.
163 million though. 163 million. Kylian Mbappe. Is that enough?
I think it probably is, but will PSG want to take it? I think they've not really talked about the offer in the last few days, have they? But that's the offer that was given, wasn't it?
That was the offer that was given.
Mm.
That's the offer apparently that they would accept, which is around 180 million euros.
Okay.
They can't lose him. They can't lose him for nothing.
They can't. No. They've got to, because he's out of contract next summer, isn't he?
Yes. So he would go on a free at the end of the season.
Can you imagine losing that talent for nothing?
But if I'm Real Madrid, I'm thinking, well, why? Let's last these 10 months of the season and get him for free.
Well, there is that. To be fair.
So,
but if you really want that player, that star player, and you want him now,
then you've got to get him. Yeah, you've got to get him. But I want to touch on this free lark. There's no such thing as a free transfer. No. Obviously, wages and fees, agents and all that, they do come into play.
Deals, everything.
Yeah, but to pay 163 million for Kylian Mbappe, I think that's quite cheap. I don't know.
Honest,
do you rate Mbappe? Do you think he's a Neymar, Messi, Ronaldo kind of up their talent? He is only 22.
To be honest, with the French league, the way PSG have pretty much dominated it for the last 10 years.
Wow.
And Lille, what was it? Lille
last season were absolutely phenomenal in that league.
They wouldn't have had their budget, would they, either?
No, they didn't have a budget. That's the thing. And unfortunately, they lost their manager at the end of last season because of financial. I think so, yeah, because of financial problems. And he went off to, I think it was either Nice or Nantes. Let me just double check that one.
So, yeah.
And that,
because Lille have got Jocelyn Gourvenec in charge now. And I do remember they had Gaultier. He quit at the end of the season. I do remember seeing that.
And he had no choice because the financial reasons for Lille. And again, he's carried on his managerial career with a good start for them as well. For there, I just want to talk about something that I've read in
It's Nice. It's definitely Nice. He's gone to, yeah.
I just want to quickly talk about. I've just been reading this morning around the government plans to lift stadium standing bans by the end of the season.
Okay.
Which is a great move to people that go to football on a regular basis. I think we've been doing it for years anyway, standing up, especially if you go to an away ground. And obviously, there's been the introduction of safe standing areas within stadiums as well.
Yeah, funnily enough, wasn't Celtic one of the first teams to install the new standing seats? Mm-hmm. I can't. What's the name? I forget the name of the seats. What they call them?
It's just safe standing rails, aren't they?
That's it. Yeah. I mean, if we think back to we both lived in Germany for a long time, and safe standing over there has been a thing for a long time.
Long time, yeah, absolutely, yeah, definitely. I recall our famous adventure. We won't go too much about it. Our famous adventure to one day randomly, let's go and watch some German football. We went and watched Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Stuttgart. In a day that we thought would be quite cheap, it didn't turn out quite cheap, just because we just went over the top. However, when we were in the ground, there were safe standing areas. We at the time we didn't get a safe standing area seat.
No.
But it works. It works in Europe. I think. I do worry about. There's a lot more passion for English fans. Definitely. I'm not saying there's no passion across Europe, because every nation has their own way of doing it.
But we have a tendency here.
We have a tendency in England to be quite. We go over the top when a goal goes in, and there's an opportunity there maybe for what happened many years ago to happen again. But
definitely,
I think
in Hillsborough, you go back to Hillsborough, don't you?
Yeah. And I think the mentality that fans have now, I think, you know what, we are being rewarded now in English football for something that we have done for many years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great to see that by the end of the season, and hopefully it works well.
I did have a flashback to England, Germany. I think it was at Wembley, where I remember seeing one of the England fans rolling down the stands. So we do see it on the screens how our side can be with overexcitement. But I think hopefully safe standing will be a good thing to bring.
Any football fan knows it. I've lost it myself.
I've gone
many occasion,
a few rows, yeah,
on many occasion. But yeah, good. I'm looking forward to seeing how that materialises, and seeing safe standing brought back into English football safely, of course.
Yeah, of course. It'll be interesting to see how that develops. Anyway, what else have we got to talk about? Ooh, I mean, we were talking about Premier League for some time. Obviously, the Championship we briefly went on. It's Fulham, West Brom, I would say, top two. That they seem to be the teams who are gunning for that title. Early doors, but they've started off both quite
absolutely.
well.
Just a little moment, really, just to talk about a couple of derbies that went on yesterday. We had the East Midlands derby. We had Derby 1, Nottingham Forest 1. I've got to say, Tom Lawrence, fantastic finish from Tom Lawrence. And then obviously Brendan Johnson getting his first goal for Forest. And you know what a cracking occasion to get your first goal for the club, especially
Absolutely.
But the mad thing is about that
East Midlands derby with the fans back as well.
Absolutely.
And they what's the word? Dislike?
Absolutely. I think that's the safest way for us to say it. They do dislike each other. The mad fact about this game is the last 4 games have finished 1-1.
Yep. All draws. It's insane.
All draws. Neither of them want to win. However, there was definitely an opportunity for Derby County yesterday to win that game.
There was a
certain penalty at the end of that game. Curtis Davis his shirt was being pulled.
It was half off.
It was a blatant penalty. However, Nottingham Forest remain bottom of the Championship. Derby in 15th in that league. And the other derby I just want to quickly talk about is the
Bristol City.
7-side derby. Yes. Bristol City winning 2-1. Andres Wyman with a brace for them. That's 3 wins on the bounce for Bristol City and Cardiff. However, it's 3 wins on the bounce for Cardiff City playing at Bristol City. So again, these two don't want to win at home. They want to win, and they want to make it a great occasion for their fans. But Cardiff are in 9th currently, and we've got Bristol City in 11th position at the moment.
Just want to do a bit of a shout out to Andreas Weimann. I think he's been out for a year or so with injury, so it was good to see him get that brace yesterday. Looked phenomenal. The second
goal was beautiful. Yeah, cracking build up, great finish for them. Bristol City should be up there. They should be.
Well, Nigel Pearson, they've got the man in charge. He knows the Championship inside out.
Definitely. How many times have we said though Bristol City should have been promoted? Yeah. That's the thing. Is this going to be another season for Bristol City for doing that? 2 clubs that have made fantastic starts: Queen's Park Rangers, Coventry City. Yeah. QPR winning 2-0 on the day. QPR remaining 3rd. Coventry 7th. You know what? Coventry, they finished last season fantastically. And you know what? That momentum that Mark Robins has done so far this season is again testament to him and the team, keeping them in 7th.
With Coventry City, I think back to the 90s era. I remember the players when they had the Huckabees, your Dion Dublins, your Noel Whelan. That was another name I just thought of. Just think of like their scraps in the Premier League. They just would never get relegated. They'd always stay up. And now to see them where they are, I'd love to see them back in the Premier League just for one season.
Definitely love to see them back in the Premier League. And you know what? It's really great to see them back at the newly named Coventry Building Society Arena. Yes. I know myself and my pals who support Cov, we will always refer it to the Rico.
It's Rico.
But I honestly think they could be there and thereabouts. I think the top 2, again, it's still early. I can't see past Fulham or West Brom.
I can't see. I think Fulham probably first, possibly West Brom second. I mean, the playoffs. So as it stands, obviously, it's 5 games in. QPR, Huddersfield, Stoke, Bournemouth. But you forget, I mean, Blackburn have had an okay-ish start. They've dipped a little bit. Bristol City, like we mentioned, will they, won't they get to the playoffs? Middlesbrough have been back in the Championship for a while now as well.
Neil Warnock, great manager. Won
knows the Championship literally inside out.
Well, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. He's missed a Championship in my eyes. He knows how to get out that league. But again,
when's his time gonna come to
retirement? An end? Yeah, definitely. I've got a real soft spot for Neil Warnock. In early parts of my younger ages, he was a person that was gave a chance at an academy when I was at Sheffield United for a little bit. Yeah, I've got a soft spot, even though the Battle of Bramall Lane will always live long in my memory for that one. But yeah, Neil Warnock, they should be there or thereabouts. A 1-1 draw yesterday. I think that's a good draw. You mentioned Huddersfield then.
Yes. Currently occupying 4th place.
Great start. 4-0 win over Reading. Reading were one of those back to be there or thereabouts in the playoffs again.
Yeah, and Reading are another funny team, aren't they? They've got some standout like young players, and they just don't seem to be getting anywhere.
That season, they had a cracker last season. Again, another team that drifted off the ball. But you know what? It's Huddersfield's best run in 4 years. Could Huddersfield make the playoffs? Could Huddersfield be back in the Premier League? Well, we'll keep an eye on them. Good result yesterday for Preston.
Oh, absolutely. Another team who, again, they normally are in
shoulda,
and
woulda,
around
coulda.
playoffs.
Again, another shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
I think they were superb yesterday, Preston North End. Russell Martin's got a real tough job at Swansea.
Yes.
Swansea have had some
anybody
great
to
years.
take over the Steve Cooper job was going to be a tough ride.
Absolutely. Swansea have lived on a high. I think in terms of Welsh clubs being in the English League, Swansea have definitely been one of the standouts, especially their time in the Premier League, winning the, what was it called back then? Well, the Carabao Cup now, but the Carling Cup.
We'll call it the League Cup, yeah.
The League Cup. We'll call it the League Cup. Under Laundrup, yeah. Struggling. I honestly thought when they came down, they'd be straight back up. But Russell Martin's definitely got a job on his hands with Swansea City there.
Definitely. I just think back to the Premier League era that Swansea had. Michu up top. Didn't they have not a Jai?
Was it his debut? Michu, against QPR away when he scored? Was it a hat-trick on his debut?
I believe so, yeah. And he was like second or third top scorer, wasn't he, that season?
I think he was, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Let's look through. Have a quick look through. But yeah, Michu, I was pretty sure he had a cracking debut for Swansea. It was QPR.
Oh, absolutely. Swansea City.
Oh, he scored twice. Apologies, he scored twice on his debut. But we'll see on that one. I think that's for the Championship. I don't think there's much more we can say on the Championship. I think we've made our
brief mention on QPR. Just imagine they actually went up this season. Could they survive one season in the Premier League? They always seem to just I don't think they've ever survived more than one season, have they?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure on their thing. But you know what, Mark Warburton, again, a manager that's been around for some time now. Some cracking signings. I was quite disappointed losing Charlie Austin. I think he's definitely one of them squad players.
He's a super sub. He was definitely a super sub at West Brom, wasn't he?
And the same for Sam Field. He's gone there as well. Unfortunately, injury again has ruled him out for some time. But QPR, they will be up there. QPR will definitely be up there this season. I am looking forward to when we get into the part of the season where we can start seeing these top clubs play each other to actually get a bit more of an idea of how. But the Championship is such an unpredictable league.
Absolutely.
Where you just don't know. You just don't know when it comes to for the Championship. But
we've got the international break coming up, haven't we?
We've got the international break, which is always good. I think there's a couple of COVID cases around the leagues. So obviously those isolation periods.
John McGinn, I think, was the latest one I saw for Aston Villa. So he's going to miss Scotland international duty.
Yeah, I think some clubs are going to have a bit of friction from across the world, really, especially with the government's red list criteria not allowing players to go. I think Salah's the big one for Egypt. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Yeah, we'll bring a roundup next Sunday of all the international fixtures throughout the week. We'll round all those up on Sunday. Just to finish off the Championship, couple of goalless draws. Luton 0, Sheffield United 0, Hull 0,
Sheffield United. Are they going to get goal? Are they going to score soon?
They've scored. They have scored.
Yeah.
They have scored.
One goal. I think conceded. Oh.
I think there's been a few seasons where there's been a number of clubs that have come down and they have failed to adapt straight away.
They've completely. They're having to change from the Chris Wilder back three, underlapping centre back days, aren't they? With Juganovic in charge.
Yeah, Sheffield United fans, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is your first foreign manager as well to come in. So that's an interesting one.
New start, new philosophy. The team's in turmoil.
It's going to take time. At the minute, they are, yeah. And unfortunately, that momentum of last season is just carrying on into this season. And we'll see. I don't think Sheffield United will go down. But yeah, I think the end of the season we'll keep an eye on them. Let's say that. Definitely that season. They have scored. one. minus 6 goal difference.
Tough start.
Conceding too many though. I'm just looking at Reading actually. Reading in 5 games have conceded 13.
Oh wow.
That's the highest.
It could be an entertaining season for Reading fans. Scored 7, conceded 13 so far.
We shall see.
It'll be a very interesting season there.
We shall see. League One.
League One. Let's go to League One.
What we'll do, guys, we'll do a roundup, but when it comes to League One, League Two, unless there's something really, really like pivotal that we want to talk about in these leagues. But what we want to do is we want to showcase all things football. We want to showcase all the leagues. We've even got the top tiers of non-league, and we'll also look at Europe as well.
Absolutely.
As well. But I've just looking at my notes now. I've got the table. Sunderland.
We did briefly mention, we talked briefly about Sunderland.
Briefly.
This has to be their season.
3-1 winners over Wycombe. Wycombe sitting 6th. Sunderland definitely, this has to be the season for them to go up.
With Chef Wednesday?
You'd say, wouldn't you? What a day yesterday was for Morecambe. First ever time in the third tier of English football, and they managed to get that victory over Sheffield Wednesday yesterday. So Sheffield Wednesday remaining 2nd, Morecambe up to 14th. But what a day for Morecambe yesterday. I think that was the result of the day for me yesterday.
To play one of the big Sheffield Wednesday, a big history, big side in League One, to beat them at home.
Not only did they beat Sheffield Wednesday, but it was their first, I think it was their record sellout as well for the Globe Arena, for Morecambe as well. So what a fantastic day.
Just a great day for the club.
Definitely, definitely all round. Hopefully they embrace League One. It's their first time there. I think very similar to Brentford. Go and enjoy it. Just
enjoy it. No pressure. Have a good time. Enjoy. And I imagine that's probably what the manager of Morecambe would definitely say to his players as well.
Definitely, just go and enjoy it. Go and enjoy it.
And then speaking of Morecambe, they're 14th. Bolton Wanderers in 13th.
Bolton Wanderers in 13th.
They are literally on the comeback from nearly going out of business completely.
Definitely. Ian Hewitt has done great things for Bolton. I think they started off very slowly last season, and the momentum carried them through. Owen Doyle was a key factor to that for their promotion back at the first attempt. 13th, I think that's respectable for them. I was quite surprised actually yesterday. Cambridge beating them 1-0, back to back. First time Cambridge have won back to back at this level for 20 years.
Oh wow!
I always think, I don't know about you, but I think of Cambridge. I think of Dion Dublin.
Yes, that's where he started.
I don't know about you.
That's where he started.
But, yeah, what a great win. But Bolton, I can't see them. I don't know about promotion.
I think
mid-table
promotion, not this season.
I think mid-table. Definitely. I think that'll be a good season.
I think whereabouts they are at the moment, come the end of the season, I think they'd be happy with that.
Definitely.
Fans, to be honest.
Definitely on that one. The same can be said for Wigan. What a big game that was yesterday. Wigan Portsmouth. That was a League One fixture yesterday.
And again, another team who were in turmoil last season.
2 recent FA Cup winners.
Yep.
1-0. 1-0 win for Wigan. They currently occupy, both Wigan and Portsmouth both occupy currently the playoffs in League One. But for Portsmouth,
United as well. Sorry, go back to Portsmouth.
Yeah, Portsmouth. It ends their run of not conceding this season. So that was the first goal that they conceded so far this season. But the Coyle, is it Coyle? Coyle brothers at Portsmouth.
Oh, Cowley. Danny Cowley.
The Cowley brothers.
Danny Cowley, and it's his brother who's his assistant, isn't it? That's it.
Doing a good job at Portsmouth. I think they've done a cracking job wherever they've gone so far, and I think this is probably their biggest test.
Yes.
So far with this, again, Portsmouth to me are definitely a top 2.
They were the guys who got Lincoln on the road to where they are now in League One.
Yeah, that famous win.
I believe.
I think it was that famous win in the FA Cup against Burnley when they had that. Was it quarterfinals? A non-league club in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup.
Like the first time in.
I think it was the first time.
However long. Oh, just generally, yeah.
Generally, I think it was, yeah.
They then went to Huddersfield again. Club just relegated in turmoil. Season before last in the Championship didn't work out, but now Portsmouth, they're back in League One, a league they really do know very well, and they've started off pretty well. 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Like I said, they only conceded their first goal yesterday. So it'd be nice to see Portsmouth back in the Championship as well.
Definitely, yeah. The cracking fan base. A club, again, like many in these lower leagues now in English football, that have had a turbulent years
Yes.
of ownership troubles and things like that. But yeah, good luck to Portsmouth. Bolton, again, good luck to Bolton. But I'm sorry, Oxford United fans. What a start. Third in the league.
Yep.
3-1 winners over who we all thought last season under Michael Appleton, Lincoln City.
Lincoln were fantastic.
Yeah, I honestly thought Lincoln were going to make it. Again, unfortunately, that came to an end for them. But what a great win. They are turning the Kassam Stadium into a bit of a fortress, a 3-1 win. Could Oxford make it back to the Championship after all these years?
It's been, when was the last time? Late 90s, wasn't it? I think, for the Championship?
It's got to be. It's certainly got to be.
Oxford United. It definitely has. I'm sure it's been 20 years or so since they were in the Championship.
It's got to be. Carl Robertson. You got to remember, Oxford United have been one of those clubs that, up until recently, they were actually in the conference.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And they're now on their way back. I think Carl Robertson's doing a great job. Third in the league. Again, it's too early. It's too early in the season. We'll look at the table properly when it's 10th, when the 10 games are
gone,
underway.
That's when you can sort of see a pattern.
But doing a cracking thing. Ipswich Town fans, what is going on? I know it's a massive transition during the season. Was it 14 players, AD? During the season,
there was 14 new players. They've got Paul Cook, who is a ball. He knows League One. He's been there, done that.
Conceding,
yes,
late goals.
So if we look at it, so 21st at the moment. Obviously, it's only 5 games. We don't really count the position at the moment, but no wins. They just can't get a win at the moment. 3 draws, 2 losses, 8 goals scored, 10 conceded. So they can bang the goals in, but their defence is leaky.
Opening day of the season, Morecambe. They were 2-1 down. They got the 90th minute equaliser. Then we go to the Carabao Cup, League One versus League Two in Newport. Got knocked out by Newport. Then they play Burton Albion, lost 2-1. Again.
Then they lost to newcomers Cheltenham in League One, 2-1.
League One again, late goal, and then MK Dons again, another late goal to deny them a victory, and then yesterday,
and then we saw it yesterday against
90th minute, another. It just seems to be. I know it's a big transition. I know Paul Cook's got a lot of work to do to bring a bit more. But again, Ipswich Town are a top 2 team. I
think of Championship team, and then you think back to the Bobby Robson days back in.
This is a club that's won a European trophy.
Exactly. You think of that history,
but that could be said for any of these clubs. There's clubs in League Two where we'll go over in a minute, and there's clubs in League Two that shouldn't be where they are. But yeah, Ipswich Town 2-2 draw yesterday against AFC Wimbledon. 15th Wimbledon, 21st Ipswich at the moment. Burton Albion, we've just recently Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank back in charge. Yep. Cracking start. 7th
place. Yeah, good start. So
draw
5
Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Who did they play Friday night? Cheltenham on Friday night.
That was it, the Friday night game, yeah. So 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, 5 scored, 5 conceded. Pretty steady start so far. And Hasselbank is obviously back at the club that he knows very well. So they should have I'd say they should have a fairly decent season, really.
You'd think. It's a tough league, League One. But they should be up there.
Look at Sunderland are the main talking point for that league. I mean, size-wise, them and Sheff Wednesday are the biggest teams in League One.
I'd bring Ipswich.
And they've been in that league for so long. Sunderland so long. League. And Ipswich,
Sheffield Wednesday, they've just come down. But Ipswich and Sunderland, even you could go even far as Charlton.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, Charlton, yeah.
Portsmouth, you know what, we're underestimating how many big clubs are in this league at the minute, and what a fantastic league, especially for Morecambe, Cambridge, Cheltenham that have recently just come up, to have those teams and be able to play on a level playing field as them.
It's a great advertisement for League One, though, isn't it? The amount of big teams. I mean, you're going back to history, obviously, but they are big teams in their own right for what they've won and what they've had in the past. But then for teams like you said, Morecambe to come and play Sheff Wednesday or Sunderland, how good is that for like away days for their fans?
Unbelievable. It's to say, last season was fantastic for Wycombe. I think Wycombe being in the Championship was unbelievable. I'm very much one for the underdog, and they unfortunately suffered their first loss of the season to Sunderland yesterday. But you know what a team that is. And I just wish they were able to have fans throughout that whole season.
Last season would have been phenomenal. They
you know what? They would have loved it. Plus,
especially
honestly,
towards the end when it looked like they
could have
stayed up. Yeah.
The fact that Wycombe managed to take it to the last game of the season, and obviously I know Wycombe fans, you may be hard done by simply because points deductions for Derby, probably further for Wednesday, that could have eventually maybe saved you. But you know what? Just take the fact that you had the fact that you took it to the last game of the season when everyone had written you off. The same with Rotherham. Talking of derbies, another Yorkshire
Rotherham
derby yesterday.
Nearly did the same, didn't they, as well?
They did. Yeah, 2-0 victors over Doncaster yesterday. Doncaster Rovers fans, yeah, not a great start.
No.
Bottom of the league. I think you've consecutively been up there in the top positions in League One. I don't think. I don't know what to say about Doncaster for this season.
It's League One is just.
It's tough.
Tough league. I mean, like you said, the amount of teams, like big names in there, your Charltons, your Ipswich. I'd even go as far as to say Bolton, big team for this league. Wigan, Sunderland, Sheff Wednesday, Portsmouth. That's the whole top half of the league alone with big names there. But then your Doncaster, they know this league very well. They've been in the playoffs several times. I'm sure they've been in the Championship a few times over the years. So it's going to be interesting for Doncaster and their fans this season, I think.
Good luck to them. Accrington, I think everyone's got a love. Everyone loves Accrington Stanley just because of that famous advert. 2-0 loss yesterday to MK Dons. They still remain in 9th. MK Dons in 11th.
Yep.
Plymouth Argyle 1-1 draw yesterday against Fleetwood, a team that had struggled at the start.
They came up recently, didn't they, Plymouth? They haven't been back in League One for that long.
Again, Plymouth Argyle to me, they're another massive club. Fan base wise, especially that part of the country. They're well followed.
They are one of the big clubs, aren't they?
Well followed club, representing Devon down there. Gillingham
Football Club.
First loss.
Steve Evans.
Yeah, lost yesterday, 2-1 against Shrewsbury. Big win for Shrewsbury, that was yesterday. Charlton winning 2-0 against Crewe. Just touching on Shrewsbury. Yeah, great to get your first 3 points of the season. Currently occupied 22nd. League Two. We'll quickly round off League Two. I just want to first start as much as Sutton United at bottom of the league. How great was it finally for them to have their first league game, first league goal, but first league game at the Knights Community Stadium for them. I didn't realise until the results had come in that them two were actually near the bottom, Sutton and Oldham. But they still occupy the relegation spots there. Bristol Rovers. Not a great start for Joey Barton.
No, not for Joey Barton's side. I mean, this Bristol Rovers, they've just been relegated, haven't they? Fresh from League One, I believe.
Again, I think of Bristol Rovers, and I think that, you know what, it's Bristol.
It's Bristol, big city. It's the Rovers
big city, and they are a big club as themselves. A 1-1 draw yesterday with Barrow. I do worry for Bristol Rovers this season.
Speaking of Barrow, it's incredible that they're in League Two.
I think them and Harrogate. Yeah, I think it was so refreshing seeing two clubs get promoted from non-league that had never been in the Football League. Or Barrow have, but for so long. But to see Harrogate and Barrow in the Football League, same as Sutton. I'm very much an advocate for teams that have never been a Football League side to get that promotion. It's refreshing. It's refreshing to see. Salford, I know Salford's a bit of a different kettle of fish.
It's a sore subject for some people, isn't it? Definitely for League Two.
It is indeed.
They've obviously got the class of '92 behind them, haven't they?
Along with a little bit of money from abroad as well. But they got their first win of the season yesterday, which was good for them. Forest Green,
definitely.
They definitely need that.
Forest Green. Well, they were storming away.
They were storming away until that run come to an end yesterday with a 2-0 loss at home to Port Vale. Harrogate nearly continued their 100% record. Harrogate, if you don't know, they've had 2 games postponed, so they are 1 game behind. They've managed to catch up with 1, but they got a draw yesterday with Exeter. So that unbeaten run still. But how great, like we've just been mentioning, how great would it be to see Harrogate in League One?
It'd be insane.
It'll be absolutely fantastic, and especially when you look at the teams that are currently occupying that bottom of the Championship and the teams that are currently already in League One. What an occasion that will be for them. Bradford losing yesterday 2-0 to Leyton Orient.
Bradford City, that's a massive League Two, just a massive team.
Massive team
in League Two.
Massively, yeah, massive club. They're currently occupy third position, but a loss yesterday to Leyton Orient, who occupy a playoff spot. Swindon getting a 1-0 win over Mansfield. Again, they're in the playoffs. So is Mansfield actually, still in the playoffs. And then Hartlepool, who came up last season. Is it last season? Yeah, Hartlepool came up last season.
They did.
2-1 win over Carlisle, and what a start!
Jeff Stelling will be happy.
Jeff Stelling will be happy, absolutely. No doubt he's got Roy Bobby Brown playing every time Hartlepool score on there. Northampton, Crawley, that was a 0-0 draw. Stevenage losing to Walsall. Cracking first win of the season for Walsall.
Again, I would say, big team for League Two.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Them and Bristol Rovers, even Oldham occupying those lower spots.
They're in so much
in that league.
It's just behind the scenes with Oldham. I think there's a lot
going on,
a lot of issues, isn't there? Let's say.
Definitely. Colchester drawing 1-1 with Rochdale. Scunthorpe getting a win over Tranmere. We've mentioned that Salford picked up their first win against Newport.
Much needed. They have to do better
with the money they've
season.
got. With the money they've got behind them. I know it'll always be a sore subject for people, but you shouldn't anticipate anyone like Salford. But football speaks on the pitch, and if you haven't got the right thing going on the pitch, then you're not going to get the results that you need. Tranmere, Crawley, Walsall, first, but that's League One. Like we said, we want to cover all things. So as much as we may not be speaking a lot about too much detail, we will dedicate our time over the podcast. Games. Yeah, we'll definitely cover games. But what we want to do is we want to bring the results as we can. So at least every club gets a mention. Non-league wise, we're only going to look at the top. The Premier, North and South. I don't know.
Let's talk about the teams in the National League this season. Notts County, huge club. Chesterfield, huge. Wrexham have been in and around there for a while. They're a big team in their right, a lot of history, and it's Ryan Reynolds, a bit of Hollywood there, isn't it, at the moment? Ownership.
That absolutely, definitely getting their name about across the globe. It's really interesting to watch, actually. If you follow Ryan Reynolds on social media, you'll know he's loving it. He's absolutely loving it. He's trying to embrace that North Wales way of life as well. But yeah, they're massive. There's some massive Southend, Stockport, Torquay, huge clubs down there, and recently having Grimsby going down as well.
Yeah, get another big team for that, definitely.
But there are some big clubs, but special mention to these teams: Dagenham and Redbridge, Chesterfield, Maidenhead United, and Boreham Wood, who have so far played 2, won 2, and occupy the top 4. But also a mention to Notts County, Wrexham, Altrincham, and Grimsby, who are also unbeaten, but they've picked up draws over the first 2 games. But I think this league's recently started. There are a couple of teams that are on just one game: Yeovil, Bromley, and Eastleigh, and Dover.
Torquay United as well. I forgot about them.
Torquay, I think
Dover
they've
been in the Football League numerous times.
Minus 12 points, unfortunately, due to what happened last season.
Yes.
Wrong. We don't want to go too much into it, but it'll be difficult for them to stay in the Premier.
They need to win. They've got to get to the 0, haven't they, and go from there really as soon as they can.
Yeah, definitely. Just occupy, and then for the North and the South, special mention to AFC Fylde and Brackley Town, who have so far picked up 3 wins out of 3, and then the South, Dartford and Maidstone, who again have picked 3 wins out of 3. But there are still some big clubs in the North, in the South and the North.
I mean, Hereford in the North.
Hereford doing their nice little York City. Now, I want to talk about York City. York City just moved into this brand new great facility that they'll be sharing with York Knights, the rugby league club. Played 3, lost 3.
It's a tough one. And they beat Newcastle in pre-season, and Middlesbrough.
And Middlesbrough.
And then in the league, it's not
2-1 loss to
for them at
Kidderminster
all.
Harriers, who are always going to be up there. 4-0 loss to Gloucester City, who I feel sorry for Gloucester City, who absolutely stormed that league last season. But because of they made the decision not to do any promotions or relegations from those 3 leagues, Gloucester City missed out. So good luck to Gloucester, especially now they can actually embrace fans in their brand new stadium. It's good to see Gloucester back in Gloucester as well.
It's a bit of a mention to their original stadium got flooded, completely destroyed.
Yeah.
So it's good for them that they've actually
years away, haven't they? Gloucester City. They've been away from Gloucester for years, and it's great to see them.
So it's good their fans get to go and appreciate them now at their new stadium.
Definitely. And then in the south, let's have a quick look at the south. A fair few teams that are unbeaten in there. Like we mentioned, Dartford and Maidstone. Welling United, Billericay, they've been known to have some money behind them.
Their owner's a bit of he's an interesting character.
He's an interesting character.
Is he the manager now? Have they got someone else in? Or?
I don't know. I'm not too sure. No doubt.
It's interesting.
But I know Jamie Ara and the gang were down there at some point, but they have played 3, lost 3. Just looking at Welling, actually. Welling, bottom of the league, 3 out of 3 loss. Scored 1, conceded 12 in 3 games. So
it's just not good in any league, is it?
Not good for them. But yes, like we said, we'll mention these. Me and Adie, we are big fans of non-league football. We do go and watch our non-league clubs.
Absolutely.
So we will go and we will mention those as we go through. Right. I think we've got 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left.
Cool. Do we want to cross over to Europe, shall we?
Let's start with Germany.
Oh, absolutely.
Bundesliga.
Oh, Bayern Munich. And
I've got my notes.
Lewandowski.
Is he going to stay?
I just want his goal record.
You go
to
for
start with. It's just, what is it? 333 games, 300 goals or something daft. Mental for any league in the game. It's just insane. But back to you on your Bundesliga notes anyway.
Bundesliga, Leverkusen, Bayern Munich, and Freiburg. They currently occupy. I think they're unbeaten so far.
Fantastic.
Freiburg,
brilliant.
cracking start for them. Hertha Berlin, currently 3 losses on the bounce. I know they played Bayern yesterday, lost 5-0 yesterday. Bayern will be an interesting team to watch this year. I'll be interested to see how the lad Nagelsmann
a lot of changes. Nagelsmann, he had a very, very difficult pre-season as well, didn't he? Before the season started.
They did, yep.
Didn't win a game, did they? I don't believe.
Nope. It'd be interesting.
Bundesliga season pretty well as things go.
Well, they said that about Leverkusen, but Leverkusen started really well.
Exactly.
So far, again, still early days. But Hertha Berlin, you'd expect them to be there or thereabouts. 3 losses on the bounce for them. Dortmund, I will mention Dortmund. Dortmund, again, they steal a late win yesterday. Haaland and Bellingham on the score sheet yesterday. Will Haaland still be at Dortmund come Tuesday night?
Be very interesting, unless there's going to be the big, 200 million they say he's worth? That's what they want for him?
200 million, something like that. Yeah, we'll see. But good to see Bellingham on the score sheet. I'll be interested to see how he gets on this year without Sancho, having that English representation there. But see how,
I liked what I saw of Bellingham when he played in the summer for England. When he came on, he
fantastic.
For his age, what is he, 18? He just looked 18? So ready, just nothing fazed him at all. So fair play to him.
Bundesliga 2, like I mentioned. Standout performance so far from Jan Regensburg. What a fantastic start they have made. If people won't know them,
12 goals scored.
12 goals scored in 4 games. I think they're playing today, I believe. 4 out of 4 so far.
I believe they are.
They are currently playing as we're recording
away
this
to
now.
St. Pauli.
St. Pauli away, 0-0 at the minute. Currently still top of the league. And I want to talk about Paderborn while we're here as well. Paderborn, where we lived over in Germany.
Back in the army days,
Back in the army days, yeah. Paderborn doing a great start to the season. I do hope they get back there, but obviously I hope that Schalke can return straight back to the Bundesliga. But we did get a win yesterday. It's our second win of the season. Got a 3-1 win, which is known as a local derby over there against Dusseldorf. On that one, I'm just looking at the bottom.
Hanover 96.
It's just Erzgebirge, they're the only ones so far in the league that have failed to win on that one. Scotland.
Currently Old Firm Derby, as
Derby.
it stands, 0-0. Rangers Celtic. Can Celtic win the league this season, or are Rangers going to do it again? Tough one.
It's a tough one.
It's going to be between them two, isn't it?
What's to say that Edinburgh, for the first time, how many years has it been since a club that hasn't been from Glasgow has won the SPL?
Aberdeen back in '85 and
1985.
What was that manager's name? The one who won everything. Oh yeah, Alex Ferguson.
Alex Ferguson.
That was the guy to do it for them back in '85.
And we all know how he went on to become such a success. But who's to say that the clubs from Edinburgh, Hibs, Hearts, even Aberdeen, they're unbeaten so far this season?
Nice to see say Hearts actually do well.
It'll be great
because they've had a tough few years as well.
An hour gone in the Old Firm. Yeah, Rangers 0, Celtic 0. I don't even think, does that even break them? Yep. Hibs and Hearts are leading the way in that league so far. The equal results, 2 goals scored more from Hibs on goal difference.
Brilliant.
Could this be the year? Could this be the year for Edinburgh rather than Glasgow?
Tastiest Edinburgh derby in a long time. Hibs and
Hearts. It could be. I think it'll be good for Scottish football. I think fans. It'll be great to see them on thereabouts. But we all know how it goes normally.
Just know how it goes. It starts off so well.
Yeah.
And eventually they just peter off into their own little league, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame, but it would be nice to see an Aberdeen or, like you said, a Hibs or Hearts, one of them teams.
It'd be great. Even if it was just not the horse race that we normally see, it would be great to see that they are competitive throughout the season, and it only ends like Celtic Rangers win just by a couple of points rather than what we're normally used to. 20,
like a 20,
30, like that. But we'll be interesting to see that as we go through Serie A.
How was that started?
Lazio and Inter, they currently lead the way.
Immobile bagged a brace, was it, or a hat-trick yesterday?
He did indeed, yep. Normal service resumed. Inter won the league last season. They've started really well. I think the talking point of everyone's talking Juve, losing 1-0 to Empoli at home as well. So life after Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't started very well. La Liga, what's more to say? Actually, it's a weird one. Actually, looking at my notes, Real Madrid, Seville, Valencia, and Mallorca.
Where's Barcelona?
All on 7 points in La Liga, with some games being played today. Barcelona play today at 4:00 against Getafe. A win for them will take them into that same bracket on 7 points.
Around the top 4,
Around the top 4. So those teams that I've mentioned there. Atletico Madrid, they kick off at 9:00 UK time against Villarreal. Quite a big club, Villarreal, doing really well after their Europa League success last season.
Emery, wasn't it? Emery's in charge of them.
It was indeed. And then Liga 1. I think the only thing that everyone's talking about for his debut.
When's his debut?
Today. He will make his debut today away.
Do you know what? I'm going to watch my first French league game in a long time just to see Messi.
Definitely.
I know it's a weird one. If anybody's interested, currently on the podcast, it kicks off in 6 hours, 24 minutes. Again, away to Stade Reims, I think.
Our French pronunciation is probably awful. So apologies to French supporters.
Any French listeners, do apologise, but we don't.
Yeah, it'll kick off 7:45. Yeah, 7:45 kickoff, and that'll be on BT Sport later on. Awesome. Currently in Liga 1, Monaco are winning 2-1 away at Troyes. I think Monaco actually have not had a great start to the season.
Again, that's a team. They had money behind
money,
and it went wrong, didn't it? And then they're having to rebuild again.
Absolutely.
Fabregas still there as well. I think he is, isn't he?
Let's have a look at the team.
I believe he's still there. They lost a lot of good talent, and obviously they've got Kovac in charge, the ex-Bayern Munich manager as well.
They have indeed, yep.
Kevin Volland, I completely forgot he's actually one of their top strikers now. Cesc Fabregas. They've got Gelson Martins. He's the up and coming he's going to be one of the big players in Portugal for years to come by the looks of it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people backing him. Golovin, he's been around for a long time, the Russian midfielder. They've got some talent in that squad. They need to someone needs to challenge PSG year on year. That's what the French league needs, don't they?
They do, and I think last year was a testament to Lille, and I think we mentioned them earlier in the podcast. Lille, no budget, doing really well. on there. That's my roundup of Europe. However, Adie, I don't know if do you want to look at the Portuguese league? Do you want to look at the Dutch league?
We can have a look. Let's go to the Eredivisie.
Over to you, pal. Over to you. I feel like I've rambled on so far.
Eredivisie. PSV Eindhoven played 3, won 3, 11 goals scored, 3 conceded. They're storming it. Ajax played 2, won 1, drawn 1. I believe they are probably playing today. They're away to PEC Zwolle. Probably awful pronunciation, but we'll go with it. 5:45 tonight. AZ Alkmaar. You've got a bit of a connection with them, haven't you? I believe from years ago. Didn't you see them play in Holland a few years ago? Going back a long time.
I saw a couple of games. So where I lived in Germany, I was on the border. I was randomly bored one Saturday, just got on a train and ended up in Alkmaar, which is in the northern part of Holland. It wasn't a close proximity journey. And yeah, from there, just enjoyed them. They've had a bit of heartbreak lately. Stadium, their roof came in, but I think
I remember
all's underway. But yeah, AZ Alkmaar are my Dutch club on there.
Every English fan will think about FC Twente with a certain Steve McLaren's incredible
best Dutch accent you will ever hear. Fantastic.
Three played, no wins, 1 draw, lost 2. They've been very up and down in recent years. I know that as much. I think it's going to be Eindhoven and Ajax all over again. They seem to be the teams dominating that league in recent years.
Always.
Utrecht, interesting team. They're and thereabouts, aren't they, in the European places? Feyenoord as well.
I'm just looking at that. It's very interesting to see them up there and abouts, but early days, guys. Like we said, we've picked some things, but I think I've put AD on the spot here just by going straight to these leagues. But we want to try and cover as much as we can, especially around Europe.
You mentioned Portugal earlier. Portugal top, Sporting second. It's the same.
Braga,
same old,
Benfica, normal.
Benfica 4th. Just a bit of an announcement mid-podcast. Rangers have scored. It's 1-0 against Celtic. 66 minutes gone in the Old Firm derby. Be interesting to see if they can hold on or get another goal, especially with Steven Gerrard not on the touchline. It's Gary McAllister in charge today, so hopefully he'll be back soon for them.
Is that COVID related?
I believe so, yes. I'm not sure if he's got it or not, but I think he had to isolate for whatever reason. So hopefully he'll be back on the touchline soon.
Definitely. He's made a good start to his managerial career.
Yeah, 1-0 Rangers. So I think that's pretty much the roundup of all things really for this week.
I think for me, I've just got one final mention, and it's very close. It's a country that's very close to myself and Adie. Adie spent a number of years living there, and this year I had the pleasure of going there and getting married myself. And mentioned to a football club, they're Lincoln Red Imps.
Yep.
They have qualified for the group stages of that brand new competition, that Europa Conference League.
That's
what
phenomenal.
A massive achievement, especially for the size of the country itself. The league, there's only 10 teams in the actual league.
Semi-pro, isn't it, as well?
Semi-pro, yeah. What a fantastic achievement for Lincoln Red Imps, qualifying for the actual group stages of the Europa Conference League. So just special mention on that one. But I've enjoyed it. Yeah, I've enjoyed. No doubt. We'll get better. We will get better at these podcasts. I think we've wanted to do this for so long.
It's been a long time coming, hasn't it?
It has. It's been something that's planned. We talk football so often on the phone that we thought, let's actually put something together. And you know what? People are going to love it. People are going to hate it. But you know what? For me and Adie, the fundamental thing is that we just enjoy talking about football, and in particular, just all things football. Adie will do his strange facts. We'll come up with some more, but I think the focus for next week is around the international.
Absolutely.
The international fixtures. I'm just going to have a look actually quickly. Who's playing on Sunday?
Is there any standout games?
England have got a few games, but we'll no doubt look at as many as we can. But next Sunday while we're recording, so England Andorra. So I don't know whether we want to record this during that England Andorra game.
Could do. Is that next Sunday? Is it?
That's next Sunday. Yeah. So we'll see what we can do, and we might record this during that actual game.
I think we should do a special mention. Let's do the home nations, I reckon, as well. Keep an eye on Wales. Keep an eye on Scotland, Ireland,
Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland. Yeah.
Even Republic of Ireland as well. Obviously, they're not part of the UK, but we'll keep an eye on them as well.
Definitely, and unfortunately, you're going to hear a lot more from me around Germany as well, because it's a country that's very close to
To
my
be
heart.
fair,
20 years
I
living
lived
out
there
there.
9 years. I've got an affiliation as well, so I always
That's
keep
it.
an eye on the
So we
Germans.
will keep an eye on
Definitely.
those. But just so you know, we are England. Through and through as well. But yeah, nothing else from me, AD. I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. And from me,
Absolutely. Definitely.
yeah,
Every
I'll let
Sunday we'll be there.
every
It'll be on spot.
Sunday. And if we can't be there on a Sunday, we will look to record it at the earliest opportunity as we can.
In and around a Sunday. That's the sort of day we're
In
looking
and
at,
around
aren't
a Sunday, unless a Saturday has been absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
We may do a Saturday one. We may or bring it over to Sunday,
I
but
was
we'll see
thinking to
how it
myself
goes.
earlier, if there's like a big story in football, like there's been a massive incident, a death of a legend, for instance, is not a nice subject. So it'd be good to sort of do like a remembrance of certain players,
Absolutely,
legends and stuff,
and we'll just talk
or
about them.
just generally big events. I mean, Ronaldo, we've touched upon, that's definitely happening. He's gone to Man U virtually. I mean, the last sort of talking point, really, the Premier League, few games today. So Burnley Leeds at 2:00, Tottenham Watford at 2:00, Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Manchester United at 4:30. And be interested to see if Ronaldo's going to be in the UK when he's actually going to fly to the UK, or is he going to stay in Portugal for their European trip international?
I think that's what people thought when he got on the plane in Turin. I think everyone thought he was heading to England, but he was actually on his way to Portugal to
I think he
link
went
up
to
with the
Lisbon,
team.
didn't he?
Yeah, he was linking up with the team ready for the international games. But yeah,
But it's going to be exciting for neutrals just to see him back in England after so long as well. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. From me, guys,
Awesome.
I'm going to say my piece now. I'll see you next week, but I'll leave Adie to wrap the end up from me. But yeah, speak to you next week.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully you listen. You either like it or you won't. But we love football, like Dan mentioned. We talk about football all the time, eat, sleep football. And we'll be doing it every Sunday or whenever we can. So this was the first episode of All Things Football. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.